There are some people calling this the most stylish Olympic Games of all time. And whether you agree with that statement or not, I think we can all agree that this year's Olympics is one of the most consequential live events of the 2020s so far. Whether we're talking about the opening ceremony, live supper controversy, or we're talking about the build-up to the Olympics and all the question marks that come with hosting such a massive event, the Paris 2024 Olympic Games will and have been historic. One of the cool things about the Olympics is that we get to evaluate fashion and the social language of fashion in an unrivaled way. What each country decides to decorate their most noteworthy athletes in says a lot about their culture, identity, and social status within the world. For today's video, I'm going to evaluate what each Olympic opening ceremony outfit says about their country and rank them in the form of gold, silver, or bronze medals, or no medals if they don't even qualify for a medal. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew. What it do? It's nice to meet you. Let's talk Olympic style fashion. The first of the 7 countries that we're going to talk about is Mongolia. Now, Mongolia is a country that's known for its impressive natural sights, rich history, and for its 2024 opening ceremony uniforms. Yeah, Mongolia understood the assignment. These uniforms set the world on fire when they were officially showcased on July 2nd, 3 weeks prior to the Olympics' official opening ceremony. The story behind these uniforms goes as such. Initially, Mongolia's opening ceremony outfits were to be designed by a different fashion company. But when that said company backed out last minute, the Mongolian National Olympic Committee called upon Michel and Amazonka to create something for their country. Michel and Amazonka, and I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, so from here on out, I'm just going to say M&A. M&A is a Mongolian-based label that was started by 2 sisters in 2015. Interestingly enough, this isn't the first time M&A has designed for the Olympics. They designed uniforms for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics as well as the 2022 Beijing Olympic Games. What struck me the most was how M&A went about presenting these uniforms to the world. The outfits feel more fashion forward than they feel athletically driven, which I for one love. And it's done in such a way that I feel like it really works for Mongolia, especially with how they decided to decorate the individuals, the models who are wearing the clothes. It looks really good on these people who are modeling the outfits. And I say that because I don't know if this works necessarily. If you were to do something like this with people who are not Mongolian, who are maybe bigger in stature, who look a little bit different, and that's what culture comes down to. It's about creating clothing, at least the opening ceremony outfits are about creating clothing that match the culture and the individuals and the people living within that specific country. And it works so well when there's resonance with the individuals, the designers, the people of that country, and just the overall cultural moment that is opening ceremony Olympic outfits. The black background contrasted with the white garments is really striking and ultimately feels powerful. The detail shots are also on point when it comes to the presentation of these outfits. What takes these outfits to another level are the national elements weaved within the design of the clothing. From the mountain and sky motifs meant to symbolize the natural landscape of Mongolia, to deals worn by the flag bearers designed in reference to the famous Nadam festival in Mongolia, which is just another really big event in Mongolia. There's just a lot to love about these outfits. Okay, so for Mongolia and for every country moving forward, we're gonna rank them based on 3 criteria. The first one being cultural significance, meaning do the clothes represent the culture's country in a positive way? Number 2, on-body appeal, which just means do the clothes look good on the athletes or on the models who were presenting the clothing? And 3, wearability outside of the Olympics, meaning can the clothes be worn outside of the event? In terms of cultural significance, I would say that Mongolia gets one of the highest marks on the entire list for cultural significance. It definitely has that. For on-body appeal, the way that they decorated the models, and I don't know if these are also athletes who wore Mongolia's opening ceremony uniforms, it looks fantastic. I also think that they did a great job there. Now, when you ask me, can these outfits or can these clothes be worn outside of the Olympic event? That's when I kind of begin to think, not so much, at least in a Western sense. I don't see anyone really wearing this. Maybe someone in Mongolia would step out wearing this. I don't really know what the street style is like in Mongolia, but maybe it's worn there. I'm going to give it a little bit of a lower mark for after event appeal. But regardless, Mongolia definitely gets a gold medal from me. One of the best Olympic opening ceremony outfits of all time, and they definitely hit it out of the park for a sports reference. They hit it out of the park. Puns aside, I think that this uniform definitely shows that Mongolia wants to be taken seriously as a country that cares about design and fashion and good taste. What do you think? This is the perfect time for me to say this. This is supposed to be a conversation. I have my opinion about the matter. That's why I'm making a video about it. But the comment section exists for that exact reason, for you to give your opinion about what you think about what I'm saying. If you agree, disagree, do you like Mongolia's outfits? As we go through the rest of the countries, put down your thoughts in the comments. Next, let's talk about Team USA's opening ceremony uniforms. Now, as an American, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I possibly can towards my own country. This year's uniforms were designed by one of the most iconic American designers in Ralph Lauren. Take a listen to David Lauren talking about the inspiration behind this year's uniforms.
When you're thinking about designing something like this for the opening ceremonies, how much are you thinking about how are they going to stand out relative to the other teams in competing against both other countries and other designers?
Yeah. Well, for us, we do what we love. What Ralph Lauren has always been about is saying what would make me feel good. And with the Olympics, we actually work with the athletes. They come up to our offices, we meet with the Olympic Committee, they tell us what makes them feel comfortable. It's amazing. They're going to walk in front of the entire world, in front of this. More people will watch this than any single event in history. And they want to feel confident.
Now, I'll tell you what I like about the uniforms and what I don't like about the uniforms. I like how clean the uniforms are. I think from a tailoring standpoint, they look good on just about every athlete who wears the uniform. I also really like how you can decide how you want to style the top block of the outfit. Whether you wear a tie, whether it's an open collar, or you unbutton the blazer. I like that there's a bit of like customization within what you can do. That freedom, that American freedom that a lot of people associate America with, is also present within the stylization or the stylization within the style choices that someone can make about the outfit. I just be making up words. Stylization, we're running with it. What I don't like about this outfit is the choice of the light wash tapered denim jeans. Denim isn't a horrible choice. In fact, I love denim. And the more I kind of look and perceive this outfit, especially because there's so much coverage here in the US of Olympic athletes wearing this outfit, the more I actually like it. I would have just opted for a different cut or a different style of jeans other than a tapered leg look. But that's just me. Obviously, I'm a Gen Zer. I'm someone who likes my wide fitting pants. Even if it was straight fitting, I think it would be a bit better. But the fact that it kind of tapers down at the knee and it doesn't go past the shoe, I just think it would have looked better if it would have been at the ankle of the shoe for almost everyone and it was a bit more straighter or wide. Let's see how the clothing stacks up to our criteria. Do the clothes have cultural significance? I would say for Team USA, yes and no. I love the idea that the United States is a place that has professionalism, but also is known to let loose and have fun. And that's what the jeans give for this part of the outfit. It gives kind of this American freedom, but also this like American presence that says, you know, we care about decorum a little bit from at the highest level, you know, suits and tailoring and things like that. But the jeans kind of say like, we're also very casual, right? 2, do the US's uniforms have on-body appeal? Yes, absolutely. I think that the uniforms look pretty fantastic on every athlete who's wearing them, whether it's a women's polo player or tennis player or a men's track and field or basketball athlete. Most individuals wearing the uniforms look really good, in my opinion. They look really good. Like, I'm not embarrassed for them walking around with these uniforms on. I feel a sense of pride, which is important. And 3 is their wearability outside of the Olympics. And for Team USA, this is where I would say absolutely. I think of all of the Olympic uniforms on this list, and maybe this is my bias speaking, but I think that the Team USA's uniforms have the most wearability outside of the Olympics. Not necessarily the blazer top, because that's very like, it looks very like American, like who'd be walking around with that in the US. But I see that the button-down shirt, the jeans, the sneakers, I mean, these are things that people all across the US wear every single day, and I think that's pretty cool that it's represented in the opening ceremony uniform. So what do these uniforms say about the United States? And to me, they say that Ralph Lauren, who's been doing many opening ceremony uniforms. It says that Ralph Lauren and the people who designed the uniforms are attempting to modernize American class and contextualize it for a new generation. A lot of people know about Ralph Lauren, but I think as we continue to move closer into the 2020s, we move through the 2020s into the 2030s and so on and so forth, the brand is going to have to reevaluate and reestablish what it means to be an American. And I think Ralph Lauren has been establishing what it's been, like what the American aesthetic is for many, many years. And I think this is another testament to them showing modern Americana, which I think is a really cool moment for the Olympics and for Ralph Lauren. What do you think? I know some people really do not like this uniform for whatever reason. I think it mostly comes down to the jeans. I think the blazer top and the button down, they look really good, but the decision to do jeans, maybe some people don't like that. Maybe some people think it's too safe. But regardless, I don't know if you can do, like, what is Americana that isn't something that is kind of what Ralph Lauren did. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to be doing what Mongolia did. We're not going to be doing what later on this list with like Taiwan or South Sudan. South Sudan did a good job, but like that's just a suit. So we'll get to all that. We'll get to all that and more. To me, when it comes to Team USA's outfit, there's a lot to like here, in my opinion. I don't know why I didn't explicitly say this, but Team USA gets gold. All right, let's talk about the host country's opening ceremony uniforms. France's uniforms were designed by none other than highly recognized luxury label Berluti, in collaboration with some other noteworthy French fashion figures, which is pretty cool for the country. As we all know, France has a deep and rich history when it comes to ateliers, fashion, design, and just producing some of the most noteworthy and interesting fashion that the world has ever seen. The outfit is essentially a suit or tuxedo with a gorgeous red, white, and blue ombre design and an undershirt. The motif or inspiration behind this design was to express a bit of French elegance here at the opening ceremony. I'm a bit torn on France's opening ceremony outfits or uniforms because I actually like how classy the menswear looks are, but I do not like the way that the sleeveless tops are on the women's wear, the women's outfits or uniforms. I do think that these clothes have cultural significance, but much less than what the US or Mongolia has. And the reason why I say that is because when I see this outfit, I don't think France, honestly. I think of just a businessman with a fancy kind of interesting suit on, or a businesswoman with a kind of a tacky suit, sorry for lack of better words, because of the sleeveless nature of the women's wear uniforms. To me, it's classic and safe, and it doesn't feel as elegant as maybe they had hoped it would feel for the uniforms. Is there on-body appeal? Well, yeah, I would say there's on-body appeal for the menswear looks, and it's funny, you know, typically when I evaluate fashion, when I'm looking at different trends or looking at different outfit structures, women's wear almost always outdoes menswear in some way, like whether it's like the accessories, the proportions of an outfit, the way that it kind of flows, and there's all these different interesting elements going on. Women's wear always usually tops menswear, but in this instance, because it's very simple and there's one element that I just do not like, which is the sleeveless nature of things, I think menswear actually does a better job here. And last, do I think the uniforms are wearable outside of the Olympics? I mean, I would say it's probably the same amount of wearability as the US, probably more than Mongolia, especially in the Western world. It's a suit, it's a tuxedo. So yeah, you probably could wear this to a wedding or a very formal event or something of the sort, and you have a lot of like French pride, vive la France, something like that. Is that even a term? I don't know. But it's relatively wearable outside the Olympics. And for me, I'm going to have to go ahead and give France the bronze medal for this. Our first bronze medal. They definitely get a medal. They're definitely a country that I think it looks clean. It doesn't have the elegance that maybe they would say it has, but I would say for me, it has a very proper, very beautiful kind of look to it, especially the lapel. I love the lapel on the top suit of the jacket. It's really, really clean. But yeah, that's where I would give it. Sorry, French people, if that offends you, but you're probably like, the stupid American, like, why is he giving America gold and France bronze? That's just where I put it. Sorry. Yeah. When I think about French elegance, I think about like Coco Chanel, 2004, that runway show. Like, that is elegance. This is like, you know, it's safe. It's safe. Moving on to our brothers from down under. Let's talk about Australia. Australia as a country is really, really interesting to me. Let me explain why. Australians have arguably one of the coolest English accents in the world, and they have one of the most famous countries from my point of view in the Western world. Most people here in America know about Australia, and obviously Americans are not known for being the most globally intelligent, like knowing countries and things, but that's changing a little bit. But when it comes to Australia, these outfits from Australia are maybe the least cool of the 7 that we're going to be taking a look at here. Sorry, Australia, but you know it's true. I know it's true. The world knows it's true. To me, these outfits feel like what you expect your athletic uncle or aunt to wear at a destination wedding in Hawaii or something. I like the blazer, but everything else just doesn't work. The shorts and skirts just aren't doing it for me. I would have went a totally different direction. The t-shirt underneath is also just meh. It's meh. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't think that these clothes have cultural significance to Australia. Maybe they do a little bit. Like when I think of Australia, I think about like Crocodile Dundee. And maybe like wearing shorts is better for like wrestling alligators or crocodiles. I don't even really think that the uniforms look that good on body. And when it comes to wearing them outside of the Olympics, I wouldn't even want them to wear them inside the Olympics. So that tells you how I feel about someone wearing this outside the Olympics. From the standpoint of Australia's national identity, I don't think this is that strong of a showcasing for the country. And like I said, Australia is a place where I think many people, at least in my circle, would love to at some point visit Australia because it just seems like a cool place. It has beautiful nature. It's a very famous place. It has cities, it has culture, it has the things that, make a place interesting. It's safe relatively. I thought that Australia was on the come up for when it comes to like its fashion, but I feel like this was kind of a step backwards for the country, showing that it's at the same level as some of these other places when it comes to their acumen, their fashion and design acumen. But Australia does not get a medal of any kind for this tier list. Sorry, Aussies. Taiwan, also referred to as Chinese Taipei, absolutely killed their opening ceremony outfits. These outfits almost feel like Taiwan was on a mission to make a statement at the Olympics, and they did exactly that. Similar to Mongolia, what Taiwan did was they did a fantastic job in stage setting the looks, which means that they did a fantastic job in creating this world for the outfits to exist in visually for the photos that they showcased about the opening ceremony outfits. Justin Cho, the designer of the uniforms, is no stranger to Olympic Games fashion. What makes these uniforms so cool is the fact that the fabric used to make the clothes have so much cultural significance. From the flower on the pocket being Taiwan's symbolic flower, to the banana fiber woven shoes and belt. This to me is a no-brainer gold medalist uniform right here. And it seems as though Taiwan is making a statement of some sort that we're Taiwan and we do this. This might be the best uniform on this list. Well, until we get to South Sudan, that is. But we'll get there. We'll get there. If you thought that was a segue into talking about South Sudan, you thought wrong. Let's talk about Haiti's opening ceremony uniforms. Let's get a word in for today's sponsor, Squarespace. Are you interested in making your very own website for a brand or creative project? Squarespace offers a comprehensive amount of features to help you create the website that you've always wanted. If you want to sell your products direct to consumer, or if you want to showcase your body of work, Squarespace makes it easy to do that and more. Currently, I'm using my Squarespace website as a hub for all of my content and as a way to direct those interested to my podcast and social media. If you need a design to help nudge you into creating your first website, this is your sign. Visit squarespace.com/DrewJoyner for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Whether it's natural disaster or political unrest, Haiti has had its fair share of issues over the last several years, maybe even more than its fair share of issues. It's been a country that you can't catch a break right now, unfortunately. But what Haiti doesn't have an issue with is coming up with some heat for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, which is really cool to see what they did with their opening ceremony uniforms. Designed by Haitian-Italian designer Stella Jean, these outfits, and more specifically the women's outfits, are top-tier Olympic styling, in my opinion. The models and the outfits look powerful, and I love how actual accessories were used here to convey the design elements within the uniforms. It almost feels more fantastical than practical, but it really works here for Haiti, and I love what they did here. So I did a bit of research for all of the outfits, and I was reading about Stella Jean. Hopefully I'm saying that right. If I'm wrong, correct me. I was reading about Stella Jean, and she aimed to have these outfits be a catalyst for positive change in Haiti. She even said, quote, "This will be the first good news coming out of Haiti in at least the last 3 years." And to me, that screams cultural significance when it comes to how the outfits were designed and what was put into the outfits. I think they look really good on body. More specifically, the women's wear, the women's outfit looks just phenomenal. It's just beautiful. It really is. It's like staggeringly beautiful. I love the way this looks on her. The men's outfit falls short a little bit, literally and figuratively, because I don't like how when pants fall short like that. But regardless, it's a really good job by Haiti. I don't think it's going to be worn. I don't think this is going to be worn outside of the Olympics opening ceremony, because I just don't think that people in Haiti are walking around being able to wear this. In fact, I think the outfits will be preserved inside of Haiti's National Pantheon Museum, which is cool. But above what the 3 criteria try to get out of what we're evaluating, the cultural significance of this year's opening ceremony outfits for Haiti says so much. It speaks to such great volumes, like this message of positivity and hope for the country, because you hate to see a group of people, whether they're Americans or Haitians or parts of Europe or Asia or Africa or wherever they are, being persecuted or subjected to a level of pain and punishment from more powerful individuals, right? So the message of hope is something that resonates with me a lot, and peace resonates with me a lot. So for that matter of fact, I'm going to give Haiti the gold medal. They definitely deserve it, and they did a fantastic job with this year's opening ceremony uniforms. All right. Last but not least of the in-depth discussions about the opening ceremony uniforms, before we do more like rapid fire kind of stuff here, because I want to talk about more, but it would just make the video really long. We have them boys, them dudes over at South Sudan. Did you know that South Sudan has only been a country for the last 13 years? Some of you are older in age. In fact, probably a lot of you are older in age than South Sudan is as a nation, which is crazy. And you know what else is crazy? South Sudan's opening ceremony uniforms. Wow. Interestingly enough, designed by the prominent Rwandan fashion house in Moshians? Names are not easy for me, sorry. These uniforms began to raise eyebrows from the moment images started surfacing on the web. Most notably, LeBron James from Team USA men's basketball team complimented South Sudan on the look. And the reason why it's significant I bring up LeBron James, because of athletes who are active on Instagram, I think LeBron is one of the top 10 most followed athletes in the world. So he has a huge presence both domestically here in the United States and abroad, especially for the sport of basketball. Dark-skinned Africans in all black is powerful, and it looks just cold as hell. There just is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. These dudes look like a fly rap group or something like that. It looks like Migos cousins. You know what I'm saying? They just look really, really good, and it's just fly in my opinion. What is doubly impressive about these uniforms and these outfits is that I wasn't really able to find like a very professional or like studio shot image of these uniforms. You know what I mean? Like what Mongolia or Taiwan did, or even what the USA did. Like they just don't have that in South Sudan, I'm assuming, or maybe I just couldn't find it online here in the US. But like that almost makes it more impressive, because you can see how good they look without all of this like stage lighting and intentionality and like very curated look. I do think that the outfits look fantastic for the men. I have no idea what it looks like for the women, and if there are even women who are competing in the Olympics for South Sudan. Probably should have looked that up before saying that out loud, but I don't know. So we're just being real here. And I think one of the most impressive marks about South Sudan's uniforms is that they look good in the setting that is the opening ceremony, but I also think they look good outside of that setting as well, and they definitely have on-body appeal. And similar to Haiti, South Sudan is a place that has had a lot of things happen. You know what I mean? If I Google is South Sudan safe, there's a U.S. travel advisory not to go to South Sudan. So there's obviously a lot of things there that the people of South Sudan are trying to aspire to achieve. And I think one of those things, just like for any country, is want to be respected. And I think what these uniforms do for South Sudan is put a little bit of respect on South Sudan and what it means to be South Sudanese and what that looks like as well, which is cool. And for that, I got to give it a gold medal. A lot of gold medals being handed out by one Drew Joyner, but it's the way I work. Like LeBron said, them boys clean. Them boys clean. All right, let's do a bit of a recap here. USA, Mongolia, Taiwan, Haiti, and South Sudan get a gold medal with the best uniform, in my opinion. Drumroll, please. The best uniform, in my opinion, goes to Taiwan. I love Taiwan's look. I don't know. It resonates with me the most. It just looks fire. I don't know. It just looks cool. France got bronze, and Australia doesn't get a medal. Sorry, Australia. Do you agree with this ranking, or did I miss the mark somewhere? Or should I have ranked Team USA silver, or should I have ranked Mongolia the only gold, or what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Now let's do some rapid fire. I'm just going to say whether or not the country's uniform deserves a medal and what medal it deserves, or if it doesn't deserve a medal, we'll just say that too. Canada. Oh, Canada. My brothers to the north and sisters. Canada. Y'all could have done something more exciting than this. No medal. Czech Republic. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. This one was really good. I'm giving this a silver medal. I love what Czech Republic did for their uniform. The UK. Come on, bruv. I need better than this, bruv. No medal. I got love for the UK. I really do. A lot of people who I've talked to from London or Great Britain, really cool people. Japan. Sweet, sweet Japan. Why? I don't know why I didn't explicitly say this, but Team USA gets gold. Sweden. My dear, dear Swedes. Dear Swedes. Oof. Gotta love the Swedes. You guys are definitely prepared for the rain. I don't know how you guys knew it was going to rain outside. That's impressive. I can't even say, what would you give Sweden? I don't know. Is this a cool outfit? I don't know. It's functional. Maybe a bronze for functionality. Maybe not, though. Maybe no medal for Sweden. Mexico. Man, Mexico. Avocados from Mexico. Gotta love Mexico. My brothers and sisters to the south of the United States. I'll give this a bronze star. I'm not mad at this at all. I'm gonna give this bronze. This is not too bad at all. And last but not least, we have Guatemala, another one of the more noteworthy opening ceremony uniforms. Something about it, it's definitely a good job done by Guatemala, but something about it doesn't feel as quantitatively quality. Like the outfits, the uniforms don't feel as quality as like Mongolia or some of the other ones, Taiwan, US. So, but I like it still. I'm going to give you guys bronze. I think that's, you're above some of the other countries, but you're definitely not in that. This is another one of those situations where I think I got it wrong. I don't think Guatemala gets a medal after looking at these uniforms again. Love you, Guatemala. Who do you think had the best opening ceremony outfit? For me, I'm giving the ultimate gold medal to Taiwan, aka Chinese Taipei. Maybe you like Mongolia the most. I know Mongolia sparked this kind of broader conversation about opening ceremony uniforms. So maybe it's Mongolia, maybe it's Team USA. Maybe you're like, go USA, USA kind of thing. Yeah, let me know what you think down in the Let me know what you think down in the comment section. I want to hear from you. I really do. Make it a conversation. As always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2024. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you and more. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your day. Abianto. Peace. Yo, what is good? Post vid. Here are the fist bumps for the one time. Gotta reach for it. Bop. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. Here's the second fist bump. Here, come on. If you didn't do the first fist bump, this is your moment. If you're in public, if you're walking, take your right hand or other hand, whatever hand you're holding your phone with, and get this fist bump. Bop. The Olympics have been controversial this year, man. Some people are just flat out boycotting the Olympics, and I think some people are really upset about what happened. I think also just there's a lot of energy going around about the Olympics. I want to ask you guys for the post vid question of the day. #PVV when you answer, so I know that you watch to the end, and I see the hashtag when you comment. What Olympic event are you most excited about for your country? If you're an American or from the United States, let me know. If you're from Spain, from the Netherlands, from Japan, from why am I drawing a blank? Because I'm just thinking of, I can't think of any other. Germany, Canada, Argentina, Brazil. If you're from any country, whatever country you're from, let me know down in the comments which event you're most excited about and which country you're from. For me, USA, team basketball, Team USA basketball. That's the one I'm most excited about. Obviously, I played basketball for a good chunk of my life. So this is a fun year for USA basketball, I would say. Probably the most fun it's been since 2012, in my opinion. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you very soon. Peace.